Hi, hello everyone. We are now in 20th video or episode 20 or week of 20th. We have discussed the trimmer. Unfortunately, it seems take quite some time because you know that the way I do it to show you that it is trimming all of them is by combining the trimmer with the published single file. So it takes some time and hopefully you have something to learn about that. And now we are in week 20. I was going to discuss about Maui, but I think I have some problem because I need to download all of the necessary updated workload, and it takes some time. It is growing bigger. I think that is a good thing. But for now, let's keep the series of the week rolling. So I decided to let's discuss a quick intro to ASP.NET Aspire, or you just can say .NET Aspire, what have you. I think the initial official name is Aspire. So let's start this presentation. This is me. I'm based in Indonesia. And this is my LinkedIn. My GitHub ID is Area1. You can search the repo of all of those previous videos and today's videos on my GitHub. And I'm also a member of .NET Foundation, open source project onboarding committee, and now it's just called project committee. I will update this later. Yep. And of course, if you want to reach me out, you can reach me on LinkedIn and also on my GitHub. Feel free to comment my repo there or create an issue, and I will respond it as soon as possible. Next on my photo, next to me is my wife. We are based in Indonesia. So let's start the content. We are now entering the last point we discussed, 9. So during this week and next week, I'm still discussing the more about the quick intro on the bells and whistles of .NET 9. Next, after the Maui, I will discuss about benchmark.NET. It is not included in this, original distribution of .NET SDK, but it is widely used in .NET SDK in terms of the development phase. And it is also very useful to say when you see there is a performance improvement, one of the way to prove it or to test it is by using benchmark.net. And then you will see that you still have the requirement, the knowledge requirement to understand TFM, which is why it is very important to know. I'll bring it soon. Okay, let's start to intro to .NET 9 Aspire. Yes, I'm focusing on .NET 8 to .NET 9. And I could not discuss anything about .NET 10 yet. It is not yet alpha, I believe. Or maybe it is in the alpha version right now, but I don't want to because that requires me to run it on Visual Studio Preview. And the last time I tried, I had so many problems. So I think I will wait for Visual Studio 2022 17.13 Preview 2. I think that would be about around January, maybe, or early February 2025. So let's start. Yeah, I recap as last week video. These are the .NET facts. I should add that in this version, the Aspire is more like a ready, more like mature compared to the release before .NET 9. So just to maybe I should add here, just to add some clarification, .NET 9 initially released out of band, meaning that it is developed outside the annual cadence of .NET SDK, which is every year, and release is available every November. But .NET Aspire was not like that. And then in this release, in .NET 9, we have .NET Aspire that is closely aligned with .NET 9. So this is why it is called .NET Aspire 9. It, it, it requires you to have .NET 9 actually. It doesn't have the SDK, of course. It requires you to have the runtime of .NET 9, but you can still use for .NET 8, which is a bit confusing. But to me, if you really want to use .NET 9, and also the nice thing about the toolings and many things, it is better for you to use .NET 9. I know it is a short term, which is only 1.5 year of support, unfortunately, but it is also very notable in the sense that not just you are going to use .NET 9 with the Aspire and the major one, but also it is in sync with the release of Visual Studio that provides you the initial support of what comes after .NET 8. I usually recommend you to use the LTS instead of STS, but in this sense, the .NET 9, I'm afraid that even for myself, I could not avoid it in a sense that I'm not going to, yeah, to ensure that, oh yeah, we have new technologies and so on. So no, I'm not like that. I have used .NET Aspire before, but to me, I feel a bit disappointed because the way you set up or configure at first time is it was more difficult than what we have now in .NET 9, unfortunately. But that comes at some price, which is I'm going to explain later. So for those are using Linux, of course, this is the previous week video. And unfortunately, again, until now, until this week, we don't have version for .NET 9 for Ubuntu yet. I have tried to install using the Snap, and also I've tried to install using the classic one. I don't know how to do that. I don't know. Maybe I have to uninstall the Ubuntu 24.04. But to me, it's not important yet because I now have the other distro that has .NET 9, this OpenSUSE lib, and OpenSUSE lib is the one that I see and use is 15.6, and it is nicely supported by Microsoft. The other Microsoft supported distros such as Alpine, Fedora, I haven't got a chance to try, and maybe I need to clean up my storage, my hard drive, because it takes a lot of almost 1 gigabyte on my hard drive. So just to recap, this is core technologies and it's still valid for us, even for .NET Aspire. It is using the project system and also templating. Nice thing about .NET Aspire, you combine the template for both the solution and also the project files, and it knows if you have the existing solution, it just add to that solution, which is why it has its own toolings. So what is .NET Aspire? It is based on Microsoft Docs, of course. I'm pasting from Microsoft Docs, .NET Aspire is a set of powerful tools, templates, and packages for building observable and production-ready apps. Should be adding. And so it is basically, like I have mentioned before, it provides you or it brings you a templates and a set of NuGet packages. There is also tooling, but tooling is also part of the template itself. So you can also create a templates of both solution and SaaS project, which is something that is interesting because usually you are creating templates only separate for solution and also for the SaaS project. And it also comes with the set of NuGet packages. But this is the easiest one to create a .NET Aspire because if you are creating an enterprise ready apps, you cannot do this using the default template that is brought by .NET Aspire. When I say it is opinionated means that templates that you will have for Aspire is also contains a set of pre-configured, the key values for the configuration, and also it is already set by Microsoft. So it's more like you have to do this. It tells you how to do, and it also tells you you have to use this kind of configuration in order to start your not Aspire based apps. I'll show you the documentation in a moment. So this brings us to if you want to use Aspire, how to do that. Yeah, of course, the easiest one is using the starter template. This will create a solution or add the new projects to existing solution you have. The second one is create the host, front end, web API project manually, then orchestrate those projects and configure Aspire by adding the Ducat packages of Aspire. And the last one is the most difficult thing to do, and also it requires you to carefully craft your projects and app to fit with Aspire. The first one, it seems the easiest one. You just, you know, you directly have a templated and opinionated configurations, and for you to quickly use. But you have to use the existing, Blazor web project and so on, so on, so on. Which is something that, to me, there should be a way to do that. Which is why for this video, I'm just creating a new introduction first. And I should mention here that Aspire can also be used for other kinds of application. It doesn't have to be .NET. This is why I'm not going to write on this week video because I don't want to confuse you at first. Let's just see the Aspire in action first. So I'll bring you a demo, but first I'm going to go to the documentation. Hopefully, okay, I already opened. So .NET Aspire is a set of powerful tools, templates, and packages for building observable, production-ready apps. .NET Aspire is delivered to collection of NuGet packages that can handle specific cloud native concerns. Yeah, they should explain what are the cloud native concerns. Cloud native apps often consist of small interconnected pieces or microservices rather than a single monolithic code base. Well, monolithic code base can also be a cloud native apps, and this is slightly wrong. So cloud native apps consume a large number of services. Yes, this is correct, such as databases, messaging, and caching. For information on support, see .NET Aspire support policy. Like I said, you have the orchestrations, like the providing features for running and connecting multi-project application. You orchestrate those different multi-project, and then you have integrations like NuGet packages to other kinds of commonly used services such as database, and maybe Postgres SQL Server or Azure SQL or Redis with the standardized interface and ensuring that they connect consistently and seamlessly with your app. Redis is usually used for providing caching. And then tooling. Yeah, it comes from the project templates and tooling experience for Visual Studio Code, and the .NET CLI. I'm going to focus on the Visual Studio first. For next video, I'm going to also discuss the Visual Studio Code and the .NET CLI first. So you can read this on your own. I think I'm going to, yeah, add this to this slide. Link to overview. So yeah, and save it. Okay, we are done. So let's have a quick tutorial on this SP.NET Aspire. Let me check. Okay, I already opened this one. Oh, this is for creating the test. This is the official Microsoft Learn modules. Okay, this one. I'm going to start. So just to shorten this video time, I've created the starter application on my repo, and I'm going to drive you through it. So this is the loop of the template of SP.NET Aspire or .NET Aspire. Why I mentioned about SP.NET Aspire? Because it was SP.NET Aspire. Now they changed the name a little bit. So there is a .NET Aspire starter application. So for this video, I'm going to show you the starter app first to quickly, show you the application format or style, and then uh, try to run it. This requires a supported container runtime such as Docker. And when I start to use this, the look of the template is different. So let me show you. This is the SP.NET Starter app. So like I have mentioned before, there is an app host, web, and also the web API. So these three, API, app host, and the web app, is there. And there's also the other one is the service default. So service default is service discovery, resilience, health checks, and open telemetry. This service default, it is used by both API service. If you look at the dependencies, you see service default. Will extend the size a bit, and also is used by the web app. So you can also consider this as a shared code between the web app and also the API. I'm not going to discuss each of the project in a detail. Okay, I have to ensure that my Docker is ready. So it is running, and I'm going to run it now. I know it needs upgrade. Yeah, I will go later after this video. Okay, let's ensure that the app host is the starter project. We are going to also obey the guidance in this quick start here. So let's run it, and it will take some time, but thankfully or fortunately I have compiled it before, so it should be not taking quite long time. It will open default browser. So as you see now, the container is running. The project is up for the API service and the web. So for the web, let's go through here and open a new tab here. Yep, this is a Blazor. There is a weather, home, and counter. So let's try to see the dashboard. Yeah, we have here three Docker and API service and the web. Navigate from the home page to the weather page. Yeah, we have done it. And refreshing the page for 10 seconds. So let's see. Weather. We have here first is temperature is 26, -2, 46, 4, 32. And let's refresh it. Yeah. Let's wait for 10 seconds. Okay, while we are waiting for 10 seconds, this Blazor is actually a new one. You know that there is a Blazor, the Blazor web of Blazor that is not the original, template from from the .NET 8. So it is using the template that has both support for server-side and client-side rendering for the interactivity rendering that I discussed before. I think it's past 10 seconds. -10, this one. Okay. While we are refreshing this one, and there is a running Redis on my machine. So nice thing that you are having the Redis to be, started and run as a container. Here we have Redis here, and this is the container that is run. It has a garbled names, but uh, please, re- please, please believe me. This is the actual Redis run. So let me show you the log. Yeah, this is Redis version 7.4.1. I think this is um, yeah, quite the latest, but not the actual latest one, but it is quite the latest, the stable release of Redis. So we have a nice log shown here. Okay, let's go back to the starter or tutorial. Resources console, structure. Okay, let's see the dashboard. I get the impression that it is looking more like App Insight, which is nice. We have console. Let's look at the console of web front end. Yep, this is a nice log we see now. And let's see if I go to home. And processing HTTP request. Standard retry. Oh, we also have poly by default. The NuGet package that provides you the nice things like exception handling and also retry policy and so on and so on. And let's go to structure. Oh, we have a nice way to see the message here. Let's just look for the web front end first. We have a 68 result here. Oh, it displays all of them. Okay. Now listening to this. So this is the initial run. Nice. Let's see the traces. Oh, great. We have get You see the get weather. You see that there is a browser link, and this is the traffic for the cache, traffic for the API. So we have nice. Yeah, it is quite similar to App Insight, Azure App Insight. And let's look at the metrics here. Active request, duration, and let's do some traffic. So counter, click me, and traffic. 48, 48, and 26. So there is a bit delay, or maybe it is fetching from the old cache. The 48 is showing twice. But let's see. Oh, there is a change in the traffic. That's cool. Now, the next question is this what is the production ready app looks like? Honestly, it depends. So I'm in Indonesia. This kind of statistic or dashboard may or may not be useful for common developers in Indonesia, unfortunately. But I was fortunate enough to work on a multinational company that asked me to pay attention to any kinds of um, statistic data of the application. The request, performance, and so on. Oh, okay. It has a instrumentation exception count. Okay, the exception is increasing. I need to see that. Well, I don't know how to see it, but I need to see it. Is there any kinds of exception happening? So let's go to the API service. We have active request, duration. Oh, you can also see for the last how many minutes that you want to see. That's great. Let's go back to the resource here. We have three. And go to the tutorial. Understand the SP.NET or .NET Aspire solution structure. We have API service, we have app host, and this is the orchestrator project designed to connect and configure the different project and services of your app. It doesn't mention here, but the consequence of having this kind of opinionated configuration and orchestration, this means that all of those separate project, it has to be put inside one same solution. This is why when you create the ASP.NET Aspire app, I think I'm going to stop this first. The way you create the project is like this one. Okay, I'm going to open a new Visual Studio instance. Continue with that code. So just to show you a quick one. So if I new project and I search for Aspire, this one, you'll see that you will have a starter app, empty app, app host, app, Aspire service default, the one that is going to be used for the code sharing, and also nice thing that it has support for unit test projects such as MS test, and unit, X unit. But there should be okay. This one is the starter app. So if you click next, by the way, it's only support C#. Unfortunately, you see, um, it will not support VB. Or does it support VB? Let's see. No, it doesn't support. It's only support for C#. That's it. Okay, .NET Aspire Starter app. So if you click next, you see that it asks you, of course, asks you the folder, and then next one is hang on. It will ask you about configurable HTTPS, and this is standard for SP.NET Core app. There is a checkbox for optionally use Redis for caching, and this requires a supported container runtime. Like I mentioned before, you can have Docker on your machine, and also other kinds of Docker alternative as well. And this is optional, or you can create the test project. There is a support for MS test, NUnit, and XUnit. So if you have a blank like the one that I have, you don't see option to add a new solution. But if you have a already a solution, okay, let's see that I'm going to add new project and this one and click next and point the project to this one. Uh, Sample Aspire. Select folder. There should be another option to add a new. Oh no. Okay. There is no option to add to the existing solution. Okay. There should be, right? Hmm. Sample solution name. Oh, this is strange. Okay, maybe I'll try to revisit this later. But basically, you get the idea. Right? So, to me, the safest one is just creating a new empty solution or creating the solution directly from the template. And we start learn from this one. As you see, there is a nice wire up to the. If you look at the app host, there is a reference to API service and also the web app. And the package is aspire.hosting.apphost, aspire.hosting.redis. And if you go to the nougat.org, you will see that there is a existing available support for other kinds of services. So if I go to nougat.org and search for Aspire, but you have to be careful when you browse these Nougat. There will be some other kinds of uh, Nougat package that may looks like supported by Microsoft, but it's actually not supported or not created by Microsoft. Fortunately, Microsoft is already reserved this prefix Aspire for Microsoft. So you see that Aspire hosting, hosting app host, and hosting SDK. There is also project templates. If you see there is a version 9.0.100 preview is it is the unreleased version. You should not use this. Okay, there is also aspire.stackexchange.redis, Aspire hosting Azure, Aspire hosting Redis. Okay, what is the difference from? Oh, okay. For this one is for the Redis support, and this one is the Redis client, the coding support. Yeah, it is wrapping the Stack Exchange. Nice. And yeah, like I mentioned before, this Aspire is also for .NET 9, but it can provide compatibility for .NET 8, like we have here. And there is a hosting for Postgre. Nice thing about this is created by Microsoft. Also hosting for SQL Server, Node.js. Yeah, we have a So let's see if I don't know how to how to make sp dot as the prefix, but let's see, because I don't want to see other packages not created by Microsoft. Okay, there is a long list. NPGS SQL Aspire Azure Storage Blob. Okay, this is for the Azure Storage Blob. Oh, there is also support for RabbitMQ and so on. So great. So you may ask me what makes me to not to discuss Aspire on the first place. I have mentioned before. Originally, it was not nice and it was a bit hard to create a sample app, which now is very easy to create a new one. But I think this is very opinionated in a sense that if you see, let's say on the web, you have pleasure here, and yeah, I know it's a razor page, but I think it's I don't know why. Oh, so it may be not pleasure. Okay, it is using razor page, but it is not using MVC. Okay, yeah, it is not using MVC. It is using razor page. Sorry, my bad. It is not a pleasure at all. It's using non MVC, the razor page. What about the API? And the API, okay, it's using minimum API. So all of the controller is being, embedded here. This is why I told you that it is not ready for the enterprise app. We got used to separate the control implementation as an outside, not inside this whole program CS startup thing. And when you are trying to create your own, so maybe the manual way is the better way instead of having all of this wire up in this kind of minimum API without any hint or any guidance on using this as a MVC, for example, or at least a nice clean project that for the web API, all of the API should be separated in a separate class, not in one big pile of program.cs. It is already filled in with the lots of settings and configuration problem details like this one. Open API. So you have yeah some NuGet packages. Open API. This Open API is only providing you the standardized Open API JSON. You generate that JSON file, but you will not have the nice thing like you see on the Swagger. I mentioned to you in last video that in ASP.NET 9 you will not have a swashbuckle anymore, and the basic infrastructure is being replaced by Microsoft ASP.NET Core Open API, and it has implicit dependencies to Microsoft.Open API and so on and so on. I think nice thing is you don't have to worry about this. You are guaranteed to have support, but then you have to wire up your own, OpenAPI UI or Swagger UI, something like that. Okay, so this hopefully brings you a quick glimpse on what is ASP.NET Aspire. I know. Oh, you mentioned that you're just showing all of those running sample app with the statistic like app inside and so on. My point is ASP.NET Aspire or .NET Aspire is not just like this, the one that I show you right now. Based on the documentation here, You have orchestration, integration, and so on. But this integration comes at a certain price. Again, like I have a demo to you, if you use the starter page template, it is nice, it is quick, it is fast to, you know, quickly have that kind of a sample app. But you will miss many things. Like it is not recommended to have the MPC not being shown here, or maybe it's just me. If you come from a new one, maybe you will have a preference to use minimum API more. But to me, it doesn't provide me a clean separation. Like, for example, if I have a separate project that only defines the what is the term for that, DTO, and also the services for handling the saving or processing the data that is being passed on by the API, you have to add on the separate project. But then you will clutter the sample app, or maybe you have a way to separate that outside. I don't know. But then you will also complicate things if you make it separated outside the solution. Then I'm afraid that you have to create some way to, you know, make that as available as soon as possible. And the only way for that, as far as I know, is by using NuGet. You create your own NuGet for those, uh, business logic or business process codes and so on, and add it to the existing one, which is nice. But then the next question is, how are you going to really, really use this? Because here the default get to the this route. If you follow the MVC, you see that there is a route. If you call the route of the weather forecast with get, it will execute this logic. And of course, this logic can also call to other kinds of class. So you are not going to put that directly like the one that we see now, but it's still inconvenient to me because I need to ensure that all of those is still correctly aligned. Okay, before I conclude this video, let's open and compare to the previous template that we have created on the previous videos. So I'm going to open that solution. Let's go to the this one, general, and let's go to the oh I don't have here. Looks like I don't have here. Okay, so this is not MVC. Where is it? I don't have in this. Okay, let's just open the project or solution. Uh, there you are. Sample.NET publish. It has a SP.NET Core with MVC. So let's look at the home controller. So this is the POCO, and also it may contain how are you going to process. But okay, this is more like processing the view. Okay, looks like I don't have it. Okay, let's make it into this project just to give you a way to make it quick. I'm going to use API.NET Core Web API. Hopefully, okay, let's just API. ASP.NET Core Web API. I'm not going to use native IoT for now. So, what's the API with controller, of course. Example has been not API with controller. Let's see the option that I have. We are now having a checkbox for endless in .NET Expert orchestration. Cool, but let's not do this for now. We have enable Open API support. I'm going to use .NET 8 as this sample is only for .NET 8. The container OS is Linux. Let's leave it for now. Yeah, I will enable container support. But the other interesting thing is, okay, do not use top level statement. So if we enable this, we aren't going to use minimum API, I believe. But let's use minimum API for now. But with also strict option like use controller. To me, this is the best option to ensure we have the nice thing of both worlds like both minimum API and also the controller. So let's create. You see we have a nice controller, and this should contain the route. So this is what I expect. And if you look at the program, we still have the minimum API, but we have the app.map controller. So basically, we can also use this kind of way map controllers instead of directly map each of the request get that use the route here, contain this one. It will clutter this program.cs, and believe me, it will be getting more unwieldy and it's hard to maintain. And also, it will be hard for me to maintain for other kinds of best practice, like having a unit test, for example. So I prefer to use this. This map controller will also automatically search for any class that derive for the controller base, because the controller base is the class for having support for controller without view. So since this is only for API project, you don't have to concern about the view. That's it, and you have the controller and also way to provide get maybe post and so on. So in this silly or too simple example, it's just I'm just getting get, but you can have the basic idea, right? Okay, that concludes my video, and you see the comparison. And before I conclude, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I have to say that I'm going to continue to discuss the Aspire or Aspire in the next video, and then I'll try to start to move to Maui in a simple way. And unfortunately, I'm just going to use Maui for Windows for now, although you can use Maui for other such as Android and also iOS. But unfortunately, I don't have any way to simulate developing for iOS nicely because I don't have a MacBook. Yeah, so I'll see you in next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a nice coding. Stay safe and bye bye.